Teacher Talking Sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And I thought I'd do a little bit of a different video today. I'm going to take a look at all the players in NFL history that have won the Associated Press MVP and are not in the Hall of Fame. The Associated Press AP NFL Most Valuable Player Award has been handed out since 1957. All in all, there are 13 players who have won who are not in the Hall of Fame at the moment. Of course, I'm not including active players that aren't eligible yet. So those include, well, actually, those are Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Adrian Peterson, Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Those are the guys who are actively still playing. Adrian Peterson, we'll see if he plays this year, but are not eligible yet for the Hall of Fame. So these 13 guys are eligible and have not been inducted. Let's take a look. In the NBA, actually, so every single basketball player who's won MVP is, and that's eligible for the Hall of Fame, is in. So a lot of people are wondering if Derrick Rose might be the first once he becomes eligible, since his career was derailed by injuries, although he's had some solid seasons of late. But let's get into it. I'm going to start by least recent to most recent MVP winners. Let's go. So we got Earl Morrall. Earl Morrall was named the MVP in 1968 while with the Baltimore Colts. Went 13-1 as a starter, completing 57.4% of his passes. Led the league with 26 touchdown passes. For his career, he went 63, 36, and 3 as a starter. 20,809 yards, 161 touchdowns, 148 interceptions. Pretty solid numbers for a guy from his era. Started 2 games for the Miami Dolphins in the playoffs during their undefeated season. Earl Morrall won 3 Super Bowls, although he really only played in one of them, the one with the Miami Dolphins. Next, we have Roman Gabriel. Roman Gabriel was named the league's MVP the following season in 1969. That year, he led the league with 24 touchdown passes. League low 1.8% of his passes went for interceptions. In his career, he made 4 Pro Bowls, was a first-team All-Pro that 1969 season. Altogether, went 86, 64, and 7 as a starting quarterback, 29,444 yards, 201 touchdowns, throws, and 149 interceptions. Next, we got John Brodie. Brodie, 3 straight years here, quarterbacks that won MVPs that aren't in the Hall of Fame. 1970, he won while with the 49ers. Led the NFL with 2,941 passing yards and 24 passing touchdowns. Only made 1 other Pro Bowl, but despite that, he led the league in completion percentage twice, yards 3 times, touchdowns twice, and rating once for his career. 74, 76, and 8 as a starter. 31,548 passing yards, 214 touchdowns, 224 interceptions. Here we got running back Larry Brown. He was named the MVP in 1972 when in 12 games he ran for 1,216 yards and 8 scores, also catching 32 passes for 473 yards and another 4 scores. He led the NFL in rushing yards in 1970, both 70 and 72 as a first-team All-Pro. Made the Pro Bowl in each of his first 4 seasons, but his career kind of went downhill after 5 seasons. Altogether, he rushed for 5,875 yards and 35 touchdowns, while adding another 20 scores via the passing game. Here we got Burt Jones. Burt Jones was named the MVP in 1976 with the Baltimore Colts. That was the only season he was named to the Pro Bowl. Really was a solid quarterback for a 3-year span from 1975 to 77. Went 31-11 as a starter. If you don't count those 3 years, though, he went a combined 16-38 as a starter. So 47-49 for his career. 18,190 passing yards, 124 passing touchdowns, and 101 interceptions. Brian Sipe, a lot of quarterbacks. Brian Sipe was named MVP in 1980. Also, his only Pro Bowl season, although the year prior to that, he finished third in MVP voting. In that 1980 season, he threw for 4,132 yards and 30 touchdowns, a league-leading 91.4 passer rating. Year before, led the league with 28 passing touchdowns. For his career, 57 and 55 as a starter, 23,713 yards, 154 touchdowns, 149 interceptions. Another quarterback, we got Ken Anderson. Ken Anderson was named the league MVP in 1981. That season, he threw for 3,754 yards, 29 touchdowns, a league-leading 98.4 passer rating. He led the league in passer rating 4 times, yards twice, completion percentage 3 times. For his career, 91 and 81 as a starter, 32,838 yards, 197 touchdowns, 160 interceptions. Believe it or not, there has been a kicker that has won the MVP. That's right. It was a shortened season, just 9 games in 1982. That shortened season, they named kicker Mark Mosley as the league's MVP. Yes, that is right. A kicker has been named the league's MVP. That season, he made 20 of his 21 field goal attempts and 16 of his 19 extra points. Remember, this was when extra points were basically chip shots. Very surprising that a kicker has won an MVP. I'm not sure what the voters were thinking that year. Yes, he made a very impressive 95.2% of his kicks that year, but his long was only 48. And for his career, made just 65.6% of his field goals. Joe Theismann, a Super Bowl champion, also was named the league's MVP in 1983. 1982 was also named the Pro Bowl, and that was the year he won the Super Bowl. In 83, went 14-2, 3,714 yards, 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. For his career, 77 and 47 as a starter, 25,206 yards, 160 touchdowns, 138 interceptions. Another quarterback, we got Boomer Esiason. Esiason was named the MVP in 1988. That season, he went 12-4, 3,572 yards, 28 touchdown passes, a league-leading 97.4 passer rating. Made 4 Pro Bowls in his career. For his career, went 80 and 93 as a starter, 37,920 yards, 247 touchdowns, 184 interceptions. Rich Gannon, yet another quarterback MVP, not in the Hall of Fame. 2002 league MVP. That season helped guide the Raiders to the Super Bowl, where they lost. In that 2002 season, threw for a league-leading 4,689 yards, 26 touchdowns, had a 97.3 rating. For his career, 76 and 56 as a starter. Kind of came on late. Earlier in his career with Minnesota, Washington, and Kansas City, was a lot of the time a part-time starter, but 76 and 56 as a starting quarterback, 28,743 yards, 180 touchdowns, 104 interceptions. 2 more guys. Air McNair, Steve McNair, was actually co-MVP with Peyton Manning in 2003. That 2003 season, he went 10-4 as a starter, 3,215 yards, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a league-leading 100.4 rating. He made 4 Pro Bowls in his career, went 91 and 62 as a starter, 31,304 yards, 174 touchdowns, 119 interceptions. Lastly, we have Shaun Alexander, the 2005 MVP. What a 2005 season it was for Alexander. He rushed for 1,880 yards and 27 scores, also adding a receiving touchdown that year. He had a 5-season span from 2001 to 2005, where he rushed for 7,504 yards and 87 touchdowns. Unfortunately, much like Larry Brown, he kind of faded after that, although he does have better career numbers than Brown altogether. 9,453 rushing yards, 100 rushing touchdowns, another 12 receiving touchdowns. So there you have it. The 13 NFL players who are eligible for the Hall of Fame that won MVP but have not been inducted. What do you guys think? Should any of these guys be in the Hall of Fame? I'm a firm believer that Ken Anderson should definitely be in. Do you think any of these other guys should? I think Shaun Alexander definitely has a case too. I mean, that 5-year span, you could pretty much stack him up with almost any other running back in league history. There are 5 straight seasons, and he can match up with nearly any of them. But let me know in the comments, which of these guys do you think should be in the Hall of Fame? Maybe at a future date, I'll look at some baseball guys, whether it's AL, NL, or both, MVPs that are not in the Hall of Fame. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.